What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video, but I've been working on some things. I had to just kind of take a little bit of a rest. I had to realign some stuff in the businesses, really putting a lot more focus back on trading and trying to get back into that mode a bit more. Um, you know, if you're trading, you've got liquid funds that you can move up and down. You can trade the markets either way that it's going. It gives me more of an active income as well. So I did have the opportunity to be able to sit down with an institutional trader, and he kind of set me straight on a lot of things and told me about a lot of really awesome tools that they use on an institutional level that in many cases are going to cost a lot of money. But he also told me about some tools that I can go and find the tools in TradingView, put them together, and basically replicate the same tools that they use. I also added in an extra layer on that with a site called ExoCharts. So we're going to be taking a look at all that and more. I'm going to be showing you my complete trading setup, what I've got going on. So stay tuned, guys. And welcome back to another episode of CoinLogic TV, where we are looking logically at crypto assets. I am your host, The Logical Dude, your favorite van life living, crypto investing digital nomad. I hope you guys are doing great today. Man, it's been a ride the last few weeks, guys. Seeing Bitcoin drop all the way down to in the 17,000 range and bounce up, and we've just been kind of ranging the past few days, but it's really kind of given me time to kind of harness in on some skills and just really kind of perfect my tool sets and that kind of thing. So I'm wanting to show you kind of the charting setups that I'm using right now. All right, so really one big focus that our conversation was on with myself and this institutional trader was talking about volume profile and how important looking at the volume profile is. Now, if you've been following the blogs that I've been doing recently, because I have been writing a lot of content, videos have just been a whole other issue. But anyway, I've been writing a lot of content around this. So if you've been following that, you've been seeing I'm really focusing a lot on volume and volume profile. Because it is what really leads the market. It's what the institutions are looking at. They're not looking at, a lot of different moving averages and all these different trend lines and patterns and all this kind of stuff. They don't do that. They are basically straight up looking at the order books, volume, that kind of thing, because the way that you have to look at trading is it's an auction, okay? And if you have the upper hand to see what the other bidders are bidding, then you know how to play it, all right? So that's what over here on the right, you've got the order flow chart. All right, so this is ExoCharts.com. You can come in here. This is BitMEX. I'm currently looking at Ethereum right now because I've been trading Ethereum. It's been moving a little bit bigger moves than Bitcoin moves, so you can squeeze a couple extra little percentage ticks there. So I've been looking at Ethereum here, and here on ExoCharts, you do have a limit on the free option. On BitMEX, I think it's Bitcoin and Ethereum are really the only two options that you get. And you may have a few others that you can get down to a 4-hour time frame. So you can see here that you're limited to 4, 6, 8, 12 daily, weekly, and monthly candles. All right. Still can be extremely useful. So this is how I use it. All right. I basically zoom into the 4-hour chart. I look at it and I can, zoom out and I've got things set up. When you come in here, it's going to look a lot different. All right. I'll do a whole separate video on how I have ExoCharts set up, but I'm just kind of showing you what I'm using and how it's working for me. So I have got not only the volume profile, I'm using the delta profile. So when you're looking at delta on the order flow, that's basically tell you if the trend is going up or down. All right. So we are in negative delta, which is telling you that there are more sellers than there are buyers. Okay. So this is, you got the bid and then you got the ask. All right. Well, you may be saying, well, isn't the bid side people buying? Well, you have passive buyers but then you also have aggressive sellers. So aggressive selling is what actually moves the market. That's people actually coming in, putting market orders down and pushing the price. Over here on the right-hand side, you've got the ask, which is passive selling. So people putting a sell order out there. And then you've got aggressive buying. So people buying into those sell orders and buying up the market. Okay, so that's what's going to drive the price up. All right, so having this view up here is actually really handy when you're watching the price, because you can see how the momentum is coming in and out of the market versus just trying to focus on, stuff like this over here. All right. So that's ExoCharts. I highly recommend looking at that. Like I said, I will do a full breakdown on ExoCharts, at least as much as I know about it, in a separate video. This is just kind of an overall showing you the tools that you can use for free. I have done some custom color work to kind of go along with my fun little color scheme, because honestly the red and the green is just, I don't know, I don't like it. I like these colors. It just works well for my eyes, and I know what I like. It also calms me down a bit. So the red and green can be too bright. It can be, I don't know. It's an emotional thing. All right. So anyway, over here to the left, I've got, good old TradingView. All right. Well, so with TradingView, for their standard volume profile tools, you have to pay for their subscription fee. Well, I'm not paying for a subscription, but yet you see volume profile happening here. And then you see the little guys down here. You got volume profile for the period time frame. So you got a fixed period, which is, you got a big volume range. All right. It's set by default at 360 candles. All right. So this is on the 5-minute chart. This is for the past 360 5-minute candles. All right. And this is showing you've got your point of control, which I've got set as an orange line for the overall time period. All right. And then you can see over here where the big volume nodes are at. All right. So I'll do a whole other video on just volume profile and how all that works and everything as well. Over here to the right, all right, this is telling you if it was buyers or sellers. So buyers are the light color, sellers are the purple color. All right. And so this is telling you the dominance. So if this was a lot of selling going on, or if there was a lot of buying going on. So there was people buying in this range, but then it turned around and started selling back off. And then there was huge selling going on here that drove the price down. And you can see kind of how that worked here. All right. So this tells you kind of what was happening. It gives you a good history of what's going on. Paired up with your order flow over here, you can really get a good detail and see what's going on the markets. All right. So zooming in further here into the candles, you're going to see I have some smaller little volume profile indicators. All right. So this is actually made up. This whole setup is made up of 3 different indicators. All right. I use the regular TradingView volume setup here, down here, because I like the way it cruises along the bottom with the candles. This guy right here, the VPR by DTG. All right, and I'll actually look this up here. Let me come up here to my indicators, and you're going to see that this is the big fixed volume area. So volume profile and volume indicator by DTG. All right, and then the little small ones that you see on the candles is the volume profile auto line EP by FICRO, and then you got the DTG RD. So you can, these two right here, I will actually link in the description for this video as well, so you can go and check that out. And those are the tools that I'm using here. This down here at the bottom is a stripped down version of the market cipher B indicator. All right, and I'll come back up here. You can come up here and get this for free as well at Fu Manchu Cipher B divergences. All right, so when it pops up, it's going to have a bunch of different options. Basically, this has got like 5 different indicators all in one. You've got the momentum waves, which are like the MACD. This yellow area is the VWAP, but then you also have like money flow, RSI, and stochastics that you can use. You can turn on divergence signals and all that kind of stuff. But I know what divergence looks like, so I don't need all that busy lines and all that stuff. I stripped it down to basically just the momentum waves with your little buy and sell signals, just kind of as a nice little confluence. But I'm really looking at the VWAP. All right, so this VWAP here is what I'm using. What it is, the center line is basically the volume weighted average price, and when the yellow area pops up above it, that means price is above the VWAP, and then once it goes below, that means price is below the VWAP. So it's essentially, think of having a moving average up here, but it's just on this indicator here, and it's not messing up your candles. All right, completely free tools. All right, and it gives you some really advanced data that otherwise, that this is the kind of stuff that institutions are looking at. Not, and it's great to have the momentum indicators. He actually told me that I can turn off a lot of this kind of stuff and just use volume. I personally like using the market cipher indicator as an extra confluence to just really see if I'm making the right kind of moves or not. It can, it can fake you out a little bit here and there. So that's why you have to use these other data points. What is great about these volume profiles is it basically tells you where support and resistance levels are at. You don't have to go and start drawing support and resistance out or nothing like that, wasting a bunch of time. You can just come here and you look at your points of control. Those are your support and your resistance levels for these little periods. All right. So with this particular indicator, all right, so what it is on the below the hour time frames, these little volume candles and the points of control, so these little value areas that you see here, these represent 1 hour's worth of time. When you go to the 1 hour time frame and above, they're going to represent a full day's worth of time. All right, so you can really start to see kind of the stair step and how the markets have been set up. So you can really just play off of these support and resistance lines. I mean, really, you can come here and you can play with basically just a bars and just a line, and really just play off of the support and resistance levels of these points of controls, and really calm down your trading a lot. This really kind of gives you more of an overall view. I'm having to really kind of, because when and I play down in like the 1 minute to 5 minute candlestick time frames, that kind of thing, it can get really choppy and it can get really anxiety ridden. So you have to be careful with that. That's one reason. So like I use, instead of regular candlesticks, which you can see this can get kind of messy, I like Heikin-Ashi candles. Heikin-Ashi candles give you more of an average, and it shows the trends better. So you can easily see this is a rising uptrend, little downtrend. And then you got chop. So I highly recommend learning about the Heikin-Ashi candles. I will do another video at another point in time. I'm really going to kind of get in more on some chart stuff, and just talking about what I'm learning. So you can see it just kind of gives you a little bit better trend line. It just kind of calms everything down on the viewpoints, which allows you to be able to settle down and make really smart trades. Because when you're playing on regular candlesticks, these things can move up and down, and this gets a little crazy. So you can really mess yourself up by like watching candlesticks pump up and down. Now, when you have it more of just as an average, it gives you a much smoother viewpoint of the moves. All right. Now, if you're scalping, little ticks here and there, yeah, you're going to want to watch regular candles. But I'm looking more at what I call short swings. All right. So these are short-term swing trades using like the 1, 3, and 5 minute candlesticks. I like the 5 minutes because you get bigger plays out of it. And I like going down to the 1 minute for my entry points to kind of see, because if it's going to turn here you may get a little bit of a down signal here, but the 1 minute may be telling you something completely different. It may be telling you that it may be going down, or that the move's already basically played out and it's actually starting to look at some consolidation or reversal. So you don't want to, say, take a short. You want to wait on the move to be made and then go short. All right, because especially when you're playing around in these choppy areas, it can really mess you up. But that's where having all this information, like over here on your order flow, so you can, really zoom in. So that right now I'm looking at 30 ticks per bar. All right, so it's 30 little little tiny percentage points per bar. Well, I can drop it down as low as I want. 20 is a good level. You can zoom it into the screen and get a little bit more detail on what's happening in the auctions. All right, because again, that's all this is. It's all an auction. All right, most people like to play on price. Institutions are playing on volume, so they're seeing where the money is flowing in, and that's where they're going to want to play. All right, so when price is driven to these big volume nodes, that's where you're going to see consolidations, reversals. That's where a lot of people buying, and there's a lot of selling going on. All right, it's all about supply and demand. This actually shows things really well, and if you look at it as this high area up here in this value zone, so this is your supply area, okay? And then down here is your demand area, all right? So that's where you can kind of look at that, all right? That's where the demands, so your points of control, that is where value has really been demanded, all right? That's where the price has been wanting to be. And then when it lifts off, it goes to your supply zones, and then it comes back to your demand zones. All right, so think about, all right, well, there's no more buyers. We've exhausted buying down here at this level. All right, and then it's going to say, all right, the demand or the supply down here at this price is done. Price is going to shoot up. All right, so it's all based on supply and demand. It's all economics. All right, that's how markets move. All right, so when you look at that and look at the fact that there's a buyer for every seller and a seller for every buyer, you can really kind of see how these markets end up playing out. All right, and again, these points of control really telling you where volume's coming in. And that's where price tends to come back down and kind of retest. All right, and they are not, let me emphasize this, this is not a specific line like price targets. You are looking at zones, all right? So these are zone areas of support and resistance, not exact price targets. All right, so once you kind of get that understanding in play, then you can also watch for plays to actually work out and happen. Okay, so if you say, all right, it's coming up to the point of control, it's going to turn around and retest right here. No, it's going to probably shoot up the zone a little bit, retest the highest portions of the zones, like it's going to pull up into where there's no more orders, and then it's going to come back down. So once you learn how that kind of movement works, and you can play all the different data that you're pulling in as a confluence, then you know where to take your trades. Okay, so you got momentum on the market cipher and you got volume. All right, so that makes things really nice and clear. If you like RSI, add the RSI into it. You've also got your volume profiles that are basically printing their own support and resistance levels for you. You can see where buyers and where sellers are coming into play. You can see the volume. You can see where the big boys are coming into play, where the big money is coming into play. This is really, really super important. All right. This volume down here is telling you how much volume was coming in at that time for this candle. This volume profile shows you volume by price. All right, so having that combination is a really great tool to have, along with your order flow and your footprint to tell you how much is coming in, where it's coming in at, where people are really wanting to find the value in this asset. It'll give you a really nice leg up on your trading. All right, real quick. I'm going to pull you over here and we're going to take a look at Apollo X. I do have a referral link in the description if you want to come and trade on Apollo X. It's a smaller, decentralized leverage trading exchange like perpetuals trading exchange. Pancake Swap has their own front end that's built on top of this. I can't wait until the actual, commercial feature for that comes out, because I will be looking at it to put a CoinLogic exchange front end in there. So I am going to be looking at that. But right now I'm just using the base Apollo X exchange. It uses, even if they do have a separate front end, it still uses all these same order books. But I have set up my exchange. What's cool is all these little sections are modular. All right, so you can actually move them around, resize things how you want to resize them. So if you want to resize your charts, you want to resize your order book, you can do that. So I've really customized my setup to the look and feel that I want. All right, so when I'm actually in my exchange here, this is when I'm actually like in a, in a scalp trade kind of situation. This is the data that I'm wanting to see. This helps me show what direction the markets are going. Again, I'm looking at 3 different exchanges here. I'm looking at Binance here on TradingView. I'm looking at BitMEX here on ExoCharts with the order flow, which is where, BitMEX is BitMEX. It's where a lot of the whales come and do their leverage trading. And then over here, I'm actually looking at the exchange that I'm trading on. All right, so there can be some slight difference here on the smaller exchange. You can have some slippage. This is Bitcoin. For Confluence, let's look at Ethereum. So what I've got set up over here is I've got a little chart set up that is on basically 1 minute. It's on the time setting versus a candle. But if you wanted to change that, you can definitely, find the time frame and change it to whatever candle you want to change it to. I like this again because it's more of a calming thing. Instead of watching candles pump up and down, this gives you more of an exact price point. And you can also use it to confluence with your RSI. All right, now I was watching a situation earlier where price started to actually pull away in the opposite direction from RSI, which was creating divergence, which led to a reversal. So you can watch for stuff like that here. But what I'm also watching over here is your order book. All right, which this order book, when you have it wide open like this, also contains a depth chart. So you can also watch the depth chart just in a horizontal manner versus a different manner. You can also watch the depth chart over here if you wanted to watch it here as well, but you've got it here. I like watching this particular chart here. Then you also got the trade tape. All right, so this is telling you what trades are coming into the exchange. All right, so you can you can see if it's green heavy, then the price is probably going to start moving up. If it's red heavy, it's going to be going down. So this shows you what's happening on the asset in this exchange right now, like what trades are coming in and at what prices. All right, so this gives you a leg up if you know how to read this, and you can see where people are coming in and placing their bid orders. Again, this is an auction. That's all these markets are, is just an auction. Who's going to buy here? Who's going to sell here? So yeah, you can see where these orders are coming in. Me, I like playing. I'm going to start playing around with some limit orders and things like that, but I've been really just kind of driving in on the market orders, trying to do some scalp trades. That can eat you up if you're not careful. Higher trading fees. And on smaller exchanges like this, it can cause a little bit of slippage. So your entry points may be a little lower or a little higher than what you want, depending on which way you're going. So that is something to keep in mind. So if you're making small trades too, fees on this exchange are really cheap, which helps. But if you're playing really small amounts, you can get chewed up really quick in fees. So this is essentially my trading setup. It's what I've got going on. I feel like I have got the most data that I can possibly kind of absorb and analyze to make a good, solid trade. So this is what I'm using. You can use the same things for absolutely free. Like I said, all of these tools and indicators are free on TradingView. You can get them and customize them to your will. Like I said, a lot of this is all customized for me. especially the market cipher, I stripped out everything but these two indicators. I just found it was just having everything there was too much noise. But I really like the VWAP on the market cipher indicator. I really like having that down here. It gives me a good clear view of going up and down versus being all up in here where I'm really looking at supply and demand. So up here, again, supply and demand. I'm looking at momentum down here, and then I'm looking at the actual way the order flow is coming in and out. Over here on the exchange, I'm looking at the actual order books, and I'm looking at the actual price movements and stuff on the exchange that I'm trading on. So that's my setup. That's what I've been working on, trying to perfect my strategies. I've been doing a little bit of trading, got chopped up a couple of days, is what it is. I actually had to remove my trading funds to cover a couple of bills, but that's life. It's just kind of what it is. But I'm going to rebuild it. And until that point, until I rebuild my trading account back up, I'm really going to be watching a lot of this, perfecting my strategies, basically paper trading, playing out trades in my head, kind of how it would work out, and make sure that my strategy is running right. So because I've only been doing this for a couple of years at this point, off and on, and so I'm not a professional at it or anything. I'm just a dude living in a van trying to make a better living for himself, and I'm trying to do that by learning to trade these markets, because this is a business that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a flipping week, 365 days a year. It does not shut down. Trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, those two are the ones that institutions watch and trade on for the most part. So you can go and trade altcoins. They might have bigger swings, but for safety, I am trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, also because I can get the most data out of those two. They have the most data, the most volume coming in, so they are safer trades than a lot of the other altcoins. Even some of your other blue chips like Solana and ADA, those can have really crazy, volatility. So just depends on your strategy. Yeah, for me, altcoins basically run with Ethereum. So it depends on, so what I will actually do is I will come over here and I will actually go and look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin to see which one, I might want to trade. So if Ethereum's going down against Bitcoin, I may want to look at trading Bitcoin for a little while. So just, kind of depends on what you want to go with. Your strategy is your strategy, and you have to find what works best for you. You can't follow everything that some dude online talks about, or even what, one institutional trader talks about. You have to take bits and pieces that you're learning, combine them all to find your best strategy. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm building my strategy based off of what I have learned from other traders that are successful traders, and I'm putting them together to form my own strategies and structures and that kind of thing. So hopefully you can take this and build your own strategies for free. Again, you don't have to pay for any of this data. This is all for free on TradingView and on ExoCharts. And yeah, come trade with us over on Apollo X. Again, referral link down in the description, as well as I will link up the, actually I have a post that talks about, that I was talking about volume profile that is on the Hive blockchain, that I will link below, that has the links for the indicators in there. And then I will put a link for ExoCharts in there as well, so you'll have that. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe, notification bell on YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. But I'd really rather you come watch us on 3speak.tv, which is on the Hive blockchain, Web3, social media at its finest. Come and check us out over there. Otherwise, guys, y'all have a great rest of your day. Be cool, be real. Always abide with these markets, and don't get wrecked out there, guys. Peace out.